Hey guys! Before we begin today's review, we need to start things off with having a little lecture. This is a wolf. It gets around on 4 legs, it lives in the wild, and it hunts other animals to survive. This is also a wolf, except that it walks on 2 legs, it lives in the suburbs, and it has a day job. They are both wolves, but one is an animal, and the other is a person. Now, which one of these wolves do you think would be able to make references and jokes based on the world we humans know? That's right! It's the human-like wolf that gets to do those kind of jokes, while the feral wolf primarily worries about how it's going to get its next meal. Why am I talking about this? Because I know that despite my efforts, there's still going to be someone out there who tells me that it's okay for these wild animals to make jokes about human elements that they couldn't possibly know about. I really hate opening another Alpha and Omega review with another variation of, I just don't understand it, but that's really all I can say about the people who support these movies. If they admitted that these movies were bad, but they regarded them as guilty pleasures, that would be one thing. But the lengths that people go to defend something this inexcusably stupid, it boggles the mind! In the first Alpha and Omega, we see the wolves having to deal with food shortages, dwindling numbers, relocation, fending off attacks from other predators, and even rival wolf packs. These were real problems that real wolves face every day. But then the sequels came, and any semblance of logic just went right out the window. Why do the wolves celebrate Christmas? How do they know what fair play is when they're supposed to live in a cruel environment that demands they survive by any means necessary? When did they suddenly start caring about the physically disabled? How do they know what Valley Girls are? How would they know Noah's Ark from the Rolling Stones from a pile of moose dung? Something happened at Crest Animation that made them go off the deep end, but with the inexplicable demand for more Alpha and Omega sequels, they decided to team up with Splash Entertainment for 3 more movies. Usually, when one movie studio combines forces with another, it's a good thing. It wasn't too long ago that Marvel movies were kind of hit and miss, but once they started making movies with Disney, they became unstoppable. In the case of Alpha and Omega, each succeeding sequel only got worse, and worse, and worse, and worse. So joining forces with Splash Entertainment might be what this franchise needed to avoid further stagnation. Get some new talent, some new ideas. There is potential in this move, especially when you consider that Crest Animation was so low on story ideas that even the characters were complaining about it.
They're relocating us. When the caribou population dwindled...
Relocating? Are we seriously back to that?
But does this new partnership pay off? Let's take a look at Alpha and Omega, Dino Digs, and find out. I'm sure a lot of you are saying, wait a minute, wasn't The Big Furries supposed to be the next sequel? And you'd be right. I have no idea why they switched it around, but really, that is the least of our worries. Our movie opened 65 million years ago. Apparently, vegetation still looks exactly the same as it did back then. We meet a purple dinosaur with green trim. Not only is this color scheme not conducive to surviving in a forest, but really? You're gonna rip off Barney for this movie? I sue you, you get sued. And a spotlight from the middle of a dark and stormy night is weird enough. Why are you running into it when you're trying to hide from a T-Rex? I think it's going to see you! "65 million years later, the spot is apparently a sacred burial ground. Who is it sacred to? Is the Jasper Park Service trying to be respectful of the Shoe Swap Nation? You'd think they would like to include some information on that sign as to who this burial ground is burying, or at least give it a more dignified font than Comic Sans. Maybe this is where Derek Savage ideas go to die.
Exquisite!
Mac, you built a golf course in a nature reserve?
The very first line of dialogue is complete and utter fail. You can't build golf courses in a nature reserve! That is why nature reserves exist!
While you were away getting your fancy education, I was creating business from our land.
Why is he complaining about his twin brother getting a fancy education when he has enough money to build a golf course in a nature reserve and avoid the law in order to do so? Why did they recycle this human character again, and why did they give him a twin brother? Why are you animators so goddamn lazy? You made the effort of making dinosaur characters, so why not just make some extra humans too? You want to know something really cool about The Incredibles? It's swarming with human characters, and they're all the same model. No, I'm dead serious. Every man, woman, and child is the same character, but they're programmed in such a way so that the animators could just make a few slight variations in size, shapes, and whatever, and boom! New character made out of the same model. Are you telling me that these animators can't do what The Incredibles did over a decade ago? We're only 3 minutes into this movie, and I'm already yelling.
What happened to all the wolves in this area?
We built caves for them up in the hills, don't worry.
Fake caves?
Yes, Ian. Some wolves are already living in them.
Don't you remember what great-grandfather warned of?
Yes, he said take care of your people. And now we'll get new schools, a hospital.
He also said never disturb nature, or nature will disturb you.
Yes, never disturb nature. Before you know it, you'll be wanting to relocate wolves into areas where wolf populations are low, and we certainly can't have that!
You're digging up sacred grounds, too? Spirits are buried here!
No, the so-called spirits are actually dinosaur skeletons.
1. You don't bury spirits. You bury corpses. 2. How do you confuse dinosaur skeletons for the bones of your ancestors? What, are we supposed to infer from this that the native Canadian tribes are freaking idiots? Thank you, movie! They dig into a chamber where the Rex bones are just lying around for anyone to pick up. And how didn't this guy fall into the chamber if the ceiling is just that thin? Oh, and Velocibarney here is still alive. Spoiler alert, the explanation as to why is going to be really dumb. If she could climb out at any time, then why didn't she just do it millions of years ago? Meanwhile, the wolves are taking full advantage of the new caves.
So, you two decided to take the plunge and move to Wolfburbia?
Wolfburbia? Wolfburbia! Okay, I'm good.
Well, I hear it's very safe here. We have a problem with rogue wolves in our area.
You haven't had a problem with rogue wolves since movie number 2. You scared them all away!
Well, no rogue wolves here. Your pups will be very safe. And here we go! Isn't it perfect?
I knew it! Kate, this cave is made of plastic?
It's actually recycled material. The unnatural is the new natural.
1, no it isn't. Unnatural will never be the new natural. That is a stupid sentence. 2, how do you know what plastic is? 3, why would the cave be made of plastic instead of just being a hole in the mountainside?
The unnatural is the new natural? That sounds like when my Uncle Tony came home with a fur toupee.
Oh yeah, remember when Tony suffered from male pattern baldness? Because that sure happened.
Why don't you look inside? It's very high tech. You know the preteens in tech.
No, they don't! They are wolves! They don't know what preteens are, and the closest thing they have to technology is hollowed out log sleds!
Preteen wolf pups and tech?
Even Humphrey is calling bullshit. That's how bad this is!
Wait a minute, did lights just come on automatically?
How do you know what lights are? Why are there automatic lights in a wolf cave? Why is there grass carpeting in the cave? And is that furniture in the background? Why?
Bonjour! Greetings!
What? Birds, out of here now. Shoo! Shoo, I have a sale in progress.
Yes, And your role in getting these wolves their fancy new dens is... what exactly? Why don't the wolves just take what they want? Patty and Marcel show up to give their opinions on the new cave. Because if anyone can judge the value of a cave, it's animals who don't live in caves. And the caves have running water, too. Why didn't this golf course guy just capture all the wolves and give them to a zoo? But they're both swayed by the sprawling beauty of the golf course. So much for their unbiased opinions.
I guess we're moving to Wolfburbia. It feels better.
Humphrey, you know, I think moving the pups at night was a great idea. The shock would have been too much for them.
They're being chased by bears on a regular basis, and they're so nonchalant about it that they didn't even bother to mention it to you. I think they're gonna be okay. And you're worried about them dealing with the shock of moving to a new location? How the hell are they going to react to finding that their cave has carpeting, indoor plumbing, and electricity?
Where does that light come from?
Okay, pups, first day in your new home. Look around. Aren't you excited? Your father and I are completely aligned that moving here is a great idea for our family. Okay, let's tour the new neighborhood.
So, I don't get it. Why are we living in this area?
Well, it's a very safe environment.
You were saying, Kate?
Runt was once kidnapped by rogues, and we're a family that's a bit prone to getting into situations. I'd take golf balls over rogue wolves any day.
Yes, and you know who threw those golf balls? Humans! And what do humans do when they see wolves that don't belong? Brilliant move, Kate!
But that's what being a wild animal's all about. Surviving the wild.
Look, a lake!
I smell chlorine.
Okay, I can't spend this entire review screaming about things that the wolves shouldn't know about. Instead, enjoy this counter gag.
So, you two decided to take the plunge and move to Wolfburbia?
And with 3 pups who have a tendency to get into preteen trouble?
I knew it! Kate, this cave is made of plastic?
It's actually recycled material. The unnatural is the new natural.
That sounds like when my Uncle Tony came home with a fur toupee.
It's very high-tech.
Did lights just come on automatically?
I have a sale in progress! You are here to leave bird droppings on my sidewalks! 18 holes, PGA design.
Sorry, Kate, my Omega alarm clock didn't work.
It's called recycled material.
Recycled? As in plastic bottles?
I think I taste cola.
Let's tour the new neighborhood.
I smell chlorine.
The lake is fake.
And even man-made lakes have fish in them. What is the point of doing this? The pups break away from their parents to go back to nature, and the overprotective Kate just lets them go. Because when you go through all the trouble of moving your kids without their consent or knowledge, of course you're just gonna let them wander around aimlessly.
You want to stay with us, Runt?
Nope, I have to pee and I don't want to worry about carpeting. Now this is more like it. I can't believe they moved from our awesome wild home to a planned community. I mean, we're wolves.
Seriously. And did you hear Mom say that we're always getting into trouble?
As if we walk right into situations.
Prove her wrong. Go home, do what your mother tells you to do, be obedient little pups, and don't get into any situations. Prove her wrong. I f***ing dare you!
Claudette, Runt, come here, quick. Are those eyes? Let me do my tree hugger thing.
Don't you mean that tree hugger thing that used to be your thing before you taught everyone else how to do it? That ain't your thing anymore.
We just moved here and wanted to make friends with the locals. We're very accepting of all critters.
It's okay. As sloppily thrown together as this dinosaur is, you're allowed to be turned off by it. Seriously, does this thing look like it belongs in the Alpha and Omega universe? They couldn't possibly have spent more than an hour designing and modeling it.
Dear goodness, this is what we evolved to? Miniature dogs?
They somehow get away from her using that dust trick from movie 5, on top of grass, of course, and that spin-up move from movie number 3, but...
Watch out for my tail!
Yes! They did it! They finally did it! They finally killed the pups, and they're never coming back for another horrible sequel! Yes!
Wow, we all wanted the wild, and that tops it.
No! You can't do that, movie! You can't smack these pups with such force that it throws them into the air like that and have them survive! You gave me one little sliver of hope that they might actually die, and nothing happens! You know what? Let's forget my own hatred for these little bastards and just regard this from a story perspective. If these kids can survive a beating like that and falling from 100 feet in the air, how can we feel any fear for them in whatever perilous situation the franchise wants to throw them in next? These things are clearly immortal, and nothing bad can happen to them! F*** you, movie! Meanwhile, Humphrey is being taught how to golf, even though it goes completely against his anatomy.
Hello? I'm a four-legged creature. This isn't natural for me.
And again, Humphrey is pointing out the painfully obvious. When did Humphrey become the smartest one in the room?
Where's a dog cone when you need one?
Because you need to keep yourself from licking the stitches that you don't have? What are you talking about?
Where's a dog cone when you need one?
Humphrey makes the hole, of course he does, but it pisses off the caribou who are strangely standing their ground. Why doesn't Humphrey just charge them? And where are the humans who don't want wild animals on their green?
Kate! A little help here! Come on, ladies, it was an accident!
Talk to the antlers!
Hey! Ah!
Humphrey, are you okay?
And where were you this whole time? We jump back to the pups, who are for some reason not fleeing in terror from the dinosaur, whose name is Amy, but I'm still calling her Velocibarney because it's a much less stupid name, and she gives her backstory.
I was living below the area where you're now sitting. There is someone who dug up this hole and is trying to sell me and Rex, but a very bad idea.
Rex?
A T-Rex, way down below.
What is that? I'm a little behind in my dinosaur knowledge, and I need a bit more backstory, Amy.
65 million years ago. My mom used to tell me if I was in trouble with predators, I was to run to the sacred space and look for a circle of light. It was an area of protection. Something strange was happening. So we sort of survived, like my mom said we would. But if they dig down to the Rex, his spirit will also emerge. He is huge and ruthless and will destroy everything in his path. They need to leave this area alone or they will be very sorry.
Hooray! Just like Transformers 2, we have another backstory which doesn't make a damn bit of sense. 1. Why does Velocibarney not look anything like her family? 2. Why is there a sacred space, and why is there a circle of light? 3. Why is the mother raptor giving her daughter berries? Why are they recycling the berries that the Omegas found in the first movie instead of having her handle something that might actually work according to her scale? Those berries look like they're as big as beach balls. 4. Porcupines have only been in North America for 3 million years, not 65 million. 5. Why does the T-Rex stop long enough just so he can roar at her? Why didn't he immediately pounce on her while her back was turned? 6. And this is the most important little detail here. How have you been alive for the last 65 million years with no food, no water, and no air?
I was living below the area where you're now sitting.
Why isn't the T-Rex alive with you? Oh, and look, they're still driving that truck from Sawtooth Fish and Game, despite the story taking place in Canada. You go through all the trouble of making brand new dinosaur characters, writing and composing a whole new score, and you can't even change a single texture on one of these car doors. I have never seen a movie work so hard at being lazy.
Griffin, leave the keys in the car. I'm not in the mood for you losing our keys again.
All right, Jeffro, I'll leave him inside.
Griffin? Jethro? So not only are they reusing the same human character models from the last movie, but they're literally recycling the same characters? Why would you do that? These were just some random animal trappers, but now they're paleontologists? How stupid do you think we are, movie?
Oh no, it's the wolf trappers. Remember them?
Yeah, and now they're diggers?
You know them?
They tried to capture us, but we outsmarted them.
Mm-hmm. Basically, we kicked their butt.
Yeah, we did.
No, actually, your dad ate them. Except that he didn't? They dig into the burial ground with pickaxes, because those are the tools of choice when digging up fossils, and you'll never believe this, the pups drive their truck! How the ever-loving mother of shit do the pups drive their truck? They're wolves! They have no idea how to drive a truck! Remember in Toy Story 2 when Buzz Lightyear was driving the Pizza Planet truck? He only had a vague idea of how to drive a truck, and he's been exposed to human civilization for 4 years at this point. How do these wolves know anything about driving a truck when they've only been in the back of a camper for a few minutes?
Sis, you got this?
Yeah, don't try this at home, right?
Hey, wait! That's our truck!
Those wolves are something else.
Back at the golf course, Patty and Marcel try to cheer up Humphrey with, are you ready for this? Of course you're not. A musical number! I have no idea what to say. This is Tentacalino levels of insanity. How the hell did we get here? Remember when this story used to be about a couple of wolves from different rungs on the social ladder who couldn't be together? At what point did the filmmakers completely lose their minds and say, hey, why don't we put in a musical number like some stage show from Vegas? That belongs in this movie about wolves and dinosaurs, right? Durr!
Humphrey, Kate, pretend you didn't see that.
I didn't want to see it in the first place!
Oh, you made it back. Good job with getting rid of those diggers.
Well, it's only temporary. They'll be back tomorrow.
And there will be more of them.
Hang on, didn't they meet Velocibarney in the morning? Have they been driving for most of the day?
I want to see what the world looks like now. This may be my one and only time.
Then you'll see the world as we see it.
Which is... exactly like her time? they didn't show any differences between their time and hers. What could they possibly be showing her? Oh my god, they're gonna show her modern technology, aren't they?
We'll show you around.
You want to ride shotgun? I'm really fast.
Actually, they take Velocibarney to their original valley, and since the last movie ruined the romantic Moonlight Howl scene from movie 1, this movie decided to take it a step further and ruin the spot where Lily taught Garth how to howl. Movie, could you please just do me one small, teeny tiny little favor and grow a pair of testicles so that I can gnaw them off with my teeth? They run into a pack of rogue wolves, making me once again question their use of the word rogue when there's clearly a lot of them. What happened to the rest of their extended pack? Shouldn't this place be swarming with members of their own family? But Velocibarney just chases them off a cliff. Yeah, we can't have this clearly carnivorous dinosaur eating anything, can we? We gotta keep her as cute as possible! And because the filmmakers got bored with their own story, they throw another water show at us for no reason whatsoever! Okay, at least it kind of made sense in context the last time, since Patty and Marcel were trying to get Humphrey out of his funk. But why are the birds doing this here? There was no one watching them! I'm not even questioning how they're doing this. Just explain to me why! Were they expecting the pups and Velocibarney to just show up at this point? And where the hell are we? The pups said they wanted to show Velocibarney their natural lake.
We're going to a real lake.
But how would their natural lake be doing this? Or did they just forget about their entire reason for going back home and teleport back to the golf course in between edits? Nothing here makes any goddamn sense! I should just give up right now. The movie doesn't care. It's clearly given up on itself. Why bother going on any further? Because all you sickos just love seeing me in pain, don't you? Gotta give the people what they want. Meanwhile, back at Wolfburbia, Kate Hump frantically try to find their lost children. Oh, wait, I mean they do absolutely nothing because they've been completely oblivious to their children being gone the entire day. Why are we rooting for these idiots again?
Hi, Mom and Dad. We have a situation.
Oh, you have a situation! Just like all those other situations you have every single time your parents aren't looking!
You know how you always encouraged us to mix it up with other critters?
And I never heard you exclude dinosaurs.
Are they supposed to warn you about hanging out with great white sharks too? Some things don't need to be spelled out because some things just aren't gonna happen!
I think everyone over there is in shock.
Seems like everyone is, except the crickets. Maybe them too.
Okay, on the count of 3, everyone bark.
1, 2, 3!
Everyone dubbed themselves over with adult dog sounds and bark.
Let me organize my thoughts. According to Amy the dinosaur, we have to stop the digging or there'll be a giant T-Rex unleashed, but we need to do this in time for Amy to go back to the sacred burial ground, but it has to be timed with a ray of light so she can return back to her former existence. Did I miss anything?
Well, when you come out and say it like that, it just sounds really, really stupid. Oh, wait. That's because it is!
Everything else in this park is fake. Why did a dinosaur have to be real?
Dad, Mom, may I offer some parenting tips?
No. No, you cannot. Until you somehow get a wolf pup of your own to wheel its way out of your ass, you can't say anything!
You raised us to be kind, caring, and always wanting to help someone in need.
And that is why we often get into situations.
Well, we're in one now, and Amy's also our friend.
Thanks for reminding us what this family stands for.
Are you serious? Are you f***ing serious? You're gonna blame your entire history of defiance and ignoring your parents' instructions and make it okay because they're the ones who taught you to be good and responsible members of the community? No! 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 Go to hell and die! No! Need I remind you that these parents who have taught them to be so civic-minded towards their fellow forest critters didn't even know that they were constantly being chased by bears? What the hell are they doing that would piss off the bears so much that it would become a regular occurrence? And, okay, you want to tell me that some good has come from the pups defying their parents' authority to help others? There is nothing that they have done that couldn't be accomplished by just telling the adults what's wrong and having them deal with it. They tag along to save Runt in movie 2 and contribute nothing to the rescue. They defy the establishment of only alpha pups participating in the Great Wolf Games, but it was all for feeding Claudette's ego. The other animals were completely fine with their lack of participation in the games. They saved Daria from living out the rest of her days in isolation, only for her to never appear in any other movies after this point. She might as well have died at the end of movie 4. So you can take your "we're a bunch of rebels because you taught us to be good citizens" mentality and shove it right up your hypocritical, self-aggrandizing asses! The next day, Patty and Marcel do a little recon and find more diggers at the burial ground.
There are a lot of human workers, and they have guns. And there's no way to stop them without someone getting injured.
Oh, thanks a lot, Kate. Go ahead and put your food source at risk. And how are these caribou stomping all over the burial ground without falling into it? And then this stupid crap happens. At this point, I'm cheering for the Rex. He's the only one who can save this movie now. So the Rex just runs around for a few minutes without eating anything. Damn it, movie! What's the point of having a T-Rex if you're not going to have it eat anything? This is what we've been building up to this whole time! Start delivering!
Mom, Dad, we've got to get him back to the site in time for the ray of light.
Yeah, and you know when that thing will show up how exactly? Did you read a newspaper from 30 years in the future telling you when the light was going to come, giving you the 1.21 gigawatts needed to go back? The Rex destroys their new cave, but since the pups showed Kate Humph the error of their ways or something, neither of them care. You know, movie, if they don't care about anything, why the hell should we?
Amy, birds are your descendants, right?
Yes, but I can't fly out of here.
And is T-Rex from the bird family too?
Yes.
We just have to get him close to the fountain.
I see, and the musical hold 'em.
Yes, long enough for the ray of light to hit that spot.
What?
We just have to get him close to the fountain.
And the musical hold 'em.
Long enough for the ray of light to hit that spot.
What?
We just have to get him close to the fountain.
And the musical hold 'em.
Long enough for the ray of light to hit that spot.
Was the fountain designed specifically for hypnotizing birds? Why would you even think of that? So they make the Rex chase them indefinitely until the ray of light shows up. Dear sweet God, this is stupid!
Hey, Pops, do that thing with the dust!
You're running on grass! But because the Rex being mesmerized by the fountain wasn't stupid enough, he decides to dance with Barney in a musical number of their own. The King of the Dinosaurs. The most beloved, celebrated, and revered dinosaur around the world. The dinosaur who had to make a comeback in Jurassic World specifically for making up the blunder of Jurassic Park 3 is dancing to pop music in a goddamn water show. Can this movie just die already? The music stops in the nick of time because the filmmakers couldn't think of any actual reason for them to stop dancing. Then they make their way back to the burial site.
Why can't you just stay with us, Amy?
Because, Runt, If I don't go back to the sacred ground, my spirit will eventually perish. That is the only place where I can live on.
They get both dinosaurs into the beam of light, and they say their goodbyes.
Goodbye, Amy.
We'll miss you, Amy.
We love you, Amy. Forever. We'll come here often.
No, you won't. You'll forget about her just like you forgot about Fleet, the Porcupines, Daria, and of course your Uncle Garth and Aunt Lily, because you're horrible! The wolves convince the caribou to fill in the hole, because of course they're living bulldozers. Then the humans come back to give us the movie's bullshit moral.
Now, we will never disturb nature again.
If you really want to never disturb nature, might I suggest you take out those immortal wolf pups over there? They can't be good for the environment.
No one back home will ever believe what just happened.
Oh no, of course not. It's not like they'd believe in wolf ghosts or anything. Oh wait, they wouldn't believe you because they've all mysteriously disappeared somehow! So the movie ends with them going back to their original home, with Kate kowtowing to the will of her child overlords.
But remember, pups, when we get back there, we'll have to watch out for rogue wolves again.
Mom, we just took on a T-Rex. We can handle rogue wolves.
Yeah, Mom. Did you see how big that T-Rex was? It was a pretty awesome situation.
You're right, pups.
And that was Alpha and Omega, Dino Digs, and it is amazing. I mean it. It is absolutely amazing how these filmmakers put this kind of effort to make the movie this atrocious. The animation is crap. The dinosaur models were sloppy. The human characters were a joke. The story doesn't make any sense at all. The creative gymnastics they had to pull off to justify putting dinosaurs into this movie is just... And yet again, the pups are obnoxious and defiant. But it's okay, because their parents taught them that it was alright to be so. And so should all of you, kids watching at home. Unfortunately, I don't have a copy of this movie on DVD, because I really want to feed it to the box. But maybe this homemade DVD will make for a decent substitute.
Where's the hunt?
Caribou.
I have to pee.
I have to pee.
Subscribe, like, follow, comment, share, watch.